God for another week. You're listening to the Talk That Talk weekly podcast, sponsored by the Celebrity Spotlight Live Talk Show. I am your happy host, Modesty. Thank God for another week. You're listening to the Talk That Talk weekly podcast, sponsored by the Celebrity Spotlight Live Talk Show. I'm your happy host, Modesty. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another week of the Talk That Talk weekly podcast. I'm excited and I'm glad to say that it's here. It's here. It is finally here. Now, you might say to yourself, what is she talking about? What is finally here? Well, the season where my kitchen is officially closed. Well, part-time, because I love to eat and I love to cook. And my kitchen will only be open during this summer, less than 4 times a week. And that will only change under one condition, and that is if I have a strong penchant or a taste for something that I haven't had in a long time, like a grilled cheese sandwich, or as we say in the South, a cheese toast sandwich, or if I have a taste for Hawaiian chicken wings or salmon croquettes or homemade lo mein with chicken cutlets chopped up in small slices or strips of beef. Now that sounds like a plan. When it's hot outside, sandwiches and cold cuts are in order for me, along with a creative salad, or what I like to call an everything tossed salad. Now, the ingredients, just in case you would like to give it a try, for the everything tossed salad are as follows: romaine lettuce, green and black olives, shredded carrots, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, pineapple chunks, white onions, green and red peppers, boiled eggs, and walnuts or raisins. I think I'll put a yummy at the end of all of that. And coleslaw might also be a part of that mix. I like coleslaw as well. And now that the summer is in full swing, it's time to bring out the coolers packed with ice and juices and sodas and a few other things, depending upon which family member is going to be attending the barbecue or the picnic. Yes, it's certainly time to get the grill out and get the coal and the condiments and everything else that go along with it to make it a great affair. One of the things that I love most about summer is the smell of meat cooking on the grill. To me, there's nothing like it. And if the truth be told, I can eat grilled meats and barbecue all year round because it's just that good to me. Have you ever been so hungry, pardon me, on your way to a cookout or a barbecue and couldn't wait until the meat was done when you got there? Then you find out that most of the meat that was cooked had been burnt almost to a crisp, but you didn't care because you was hungry. Okay, you just scraped off whatever was burnt, and then you went in and totally demolished the rest of the meat that was left. Now, fortunately for me, I've never experienced that at all, to my knowledge, because every picnic, cookout, or barbecue I ever attended had the best food because it was prepared by some of the best cooks. Now, individuals doing the cooking and the grilling would have it no other way, and they didn't want to be talked about, so they seasoned their food very well and cooked the food to perfection. I mean, talking about it makes me have flashbacks of some of the great picnics and barbecues I've attended in the past. And I'm looking forward to some again this year as well. Now, the weekly quote for the week says, one of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. And so when I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest any energy in them because I know who I am. I'm going to read that again. I like that. One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. So when I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest any energy in them because I know who I am. This wonderful quote is credited to the beloved former First Lady of the United States, Lady Michelle Obama. She's a stellar mother and wife, an activist, a Harvard graduate, a Princeton University graduate, an attorney, and so much more. Now, this is just a short list that I just read, okay? I would like to accentuate just 5 words that she stated that are full of inspiration, motivation, and power from my perspective. And the words that I want to reiterate is this. I know who I am. Okay. This is a statement of confidence, boldness, fearlessness, strength, and assertiveness. When you know who you are, no one can redefine or reshape you mentally, psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually. Okay. Know who you are. And don't apologize to anyone for being who you are. Don't apologize to anyone for being talented. Don't apologize to anyone for being skilled. Don't apologize to anyone for being awesome. Don't apologize to anyone for being gifted, okay? Know who you are and be proud of who you are. Stand in that, okay? And continue to succeed in life. Amen to that. Now to all vacationers, students on summer break from college and universities, this is for you. If you are planning your vacation either within the United States or internationally, on behalf of the Talk That Talk podcast, I wish you safe travels. Have a great time. Be vigilant and watchful of your surroundings at all times. Don't get too caught up in having a good time until you forget who's around you or who might be watching you. And may your luggage, okay, get to your destination along with you and not get lost or rerouted to Zamunda or someplace you may never have traveled to before. There is nothing more frustrating, I would say, than when your plane boards, well, actually, when your plane onboards, and then you're en route to the baggage claim area. And once you get there, you realize that your bags are not there. And then you find out your bags have been sent to another state or country or was accidentally put on another plane. There's nothing more frustrating than that. So make the most of your trip. And only as a word of caution, I'm not trying to give you any directives or instructions, okay, because you're grown. But if you decide to take a boatload of pics, consider posting them to your social media page or pages after you returned from your vacation or your trip. I say that because our society, even as it relates to the property and the belongings of others, is not the same as it was years ago when our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents were growing up. There was no need, from what I've been told, okay, for a house or an alarm to be, for a house or a burglar alarm, rather, on your house or for your car. There was no need to have double or triple locks on your door because the level of respect for one another and one another's property and belongings back then was much greater, unfortunately, than it is today. Every now and then, I hear individuals, older individuals, much older than I am, talk about the good old days, they call it, and they start reminiscing on how things used to be and how things were when they were growing up and how they miss it. So thank God for the memories. Today, in the news / our world, which is a segment of the Talk That Talk podcast, where I discuss what's trending to important things that are taking place in our world today, politically speaking and otherwise. I'm going to be focusing on some franchises. For those of us that frequent certain chain restaurants and franchises because we love their menu selections and the atmosphere to us is calm and their services are good as well, I've got a bit of bad and good news to inform you of. In 2018, more than 600 franchises food franchises are slated to be closing and closing for good. Okay. This year alone, Subway will be closing 500 of its locations. That means hundreds to thousands will be either laid off or transferred to another location. In 2016, they closed more than 300 of their Subway restaurants. That's when the closures started, actually. The franchise has decided to expand its consumer reach on an international level now. And the good news, though, is that there are still more than 25,000 Subway franchises that will remain open and continue to do business to serve its customers within the United States. Added to that list as well is Applebee's, and their commercials, by the way, are almost hypnotizing. Okay, they have revealed that they're planning to close between 60 and 80 of their restaurants because they're not generating enough buzz or interest for the business to attract millennials. Millennials, I believe, is number one on everyone's list that's in business, whether it's a retail store, whether it's a restaurant, or travel agency, etc. So Applebee's has been attempting to reinvent themselves so that they can start seeing an influx of the millennial crowd, but apparently it's just not happening. It's not working out for them. IHOP, unfortunately, has been added to the list as well. Now, I absolutely love IHOP. IHOP is my favorite breakfast restaurant. Tutti Fresh and Fruity is my favorite choice, by the way, on the IHOP breakfast menu. They're going to be calling it curtains for 30 to 40 restaurants this year. It's a continuation, actually, from closings that commenced in 2016 and 2017. So if any of the stores mentioned are still in your neighborhood, or your town, your city, or your state, Subways, Applebee's, IHOP, be thankful because consumers that frequent these restaurants I mentioned are going to be impacted by the closings, especially if there isn't another restaurant close to their residence or within a reasonable traveling distance. And now on to the topic for this week. The Talk That Talk topic for today is a continuation of a previous podcast where the subject was, I Believe I Can Fly. Vacation, here I come. Today I'm going to discuss part 2 and part 3 I will discuss in the next podcast for next week. I'm going to talk about resorts versus hotels. This is going to be good. I love discounts, and I don't know who doesn't, okay? I love discounts, waivers, and favors. Insert LOL laughing out loud. Now, there are many benefits of vacationing at a resort. I'll discuss some of them this week, and I'll discuss the rest on next week for that podcast as well. Now, what differentiates a resort from a hotel is this. Resorts do everything within their power to furnish their guests with all of their needs in one place on the premises of the resort. Practically speaking, resorts provide more than just lodging. They provide lodging, restaurants, recreation, beverages, entertainment, shopping, and more. So for those of you who are going to be vacationing and you want and need a more stationary vacation where you don't necessarily have to get up early in the morning to tour or to explore, but you want to be more relaxed and you don't want a scheduled day, or you don't want to be scheduled per se during your time on vacation. You want quietness and peace. Or like I say, when I'm ready, or I'll take my time. If you want that kind of an environment, a resort would be perfect for you. Secondly, there are all kinds of resorts from which to choose based upon your liking and what it is you are looking to do while you're on vacation. There are spa resorts, golf resorts, mountain resorts where you can hike, lake resorts, budget family resorts. How about that? And much more. Which I'll cover in the next podcast. There are also numerous activities to participate in at resorts as well, such as biking and water skiing, jet skiing, which I like. I had the opportunity to jet ski several years back. Hiking is another thing. That's another one of the activities you can do. And if you're vacationing in the winter, snowboarding and snowmobiling and snow rides and snow sports are available to you as well. Now, to snowboarding and snowmobiling, anything dealing with snow, no thank you. Okay, I'm more of a hot/warm weather kind of vacationer. I don't want to go near any city, state, or country that has snow on the ground, is expecting snow, or has the ability to generate snow from a machine. Give me the sun, give me the outdoors, give me the pool, and give me colors and more colors. Okay, it's that time again, and I'm having such a great time. It's time for me to say see ya. So I'm getting ready to wrap up the podcast now for this week. If you would like to inquire about my services as a host or for a women's enrichment or women's empowerment or a women's session or a panel, call me at 646-515-4375 or shoot me a quick email at celebrityspotlightlive@gmail.com. I also conduct 15 and 30-minute promotional interviews for new business professionals, entrepreneurs, entertainment professionals, authors, and ministers, and other professionals on another platform. For information about that and details, visit www.csltalkshow.com. I welcome your feedback. Feel free to share your comments or remarks about the podcast by emailing me at celebrityspotlightlive@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for listening. And as always, it's good to be important, but it's more important to be good. Be safe, be blessed, and be happy.